All right, everybody, welcome to today's Local Yokels Podcast. I'm Neil Colley, your host, and I just want to say real quick, RoofWorks Roofing, they're dear friends of the show, primary sponsor, but right now they're offering a $500 rebate either to you personally or to your favorite charity if you allow them to do your roof. But give them a call, let them check it out. Doesn't cost you anything to have an inspection or a quote done, and you can reach them at 662-303-0345. Tell them I sent you. You got to have code word Yokels, YOKELS, and you can reach them at roofworksmidsouth.com. They're also offering a $50 rebate or a discount or $50 off of any repairs they might have for you. So if you have just a spot they got to work on, that's cool too. Be a benefit to you to give them a holler. All right, thank you. Without further ado, my guest today, the one and only Jimmy Stokes, Mayor of Horn Lake, Mississippi. Welcome, Jimmy.
Good to be here with you, Neil.
All right. Thank you, brother, and I appreciate you coming in. Tell all the people that don't know you, a little bit of your history, where you came from, where you grew up, how you got to be the Horn Lake mayor.
All right, let's see where to start, man. I was born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. Grew up in the Whitehaven area, went to Whitehaven Elementary, Havenview Middle School, Whitehaven High School, graduated 1998. Which is 1997 is the year when I started working in Horn Lake at Kroger, right there by Target. Wasn't too long after that Kroger was built that I started there as a bagger. And
bag boy.
Man, I was bagging folks.
How many, you think about this, like, that was a real thing back in the day, because, there's no bag boys anymore, really.
Man, there couldn't nobody be me getting tips, man. I was the expert.
You was the expert?
So I was the son of a store manager, my dad.
Oh, he was on you then.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't slack.
Oh, man, my Aunt Vera was, she was, that time she was a front-end manager at the White Kroger, but she ended up in human resource.
Oh, wow.
My brother also later on coming along. He was a little Kroger guy. Now he's with Amazon.
So, yeah, very nice.
Oh, man, yeah.
So, high school, Kroger. Did you play sports in high school?
Oh, yes, sir. Football, man.
Football. You're the man.
I called myself running track, and I don't know how much running I did, but I was on the track team.
You was on the track team. Were you fast, Jimmy?
It was required for the football players to be on the track team.
Were you fast, though?
I consider myself fast, yeah.
Did you?
I race a lot of people now.
Quick.
You can catch me on Facebook racing the kids at the schools and stuff now,
Yeah, well, that's cool, man. That's cool. So you leave Kroger, probably had some formal education somewhere.
Yeah, Southwestern Christian College in Terrell, Texas.
Yeah, because you actually are also a minister. A lot of people may not know that. So carry on with your story.
Degree in business and also science with biblical studies. And so, able to went to school at Southwestern Christian College, came back, went back to Kroger, continued working with them, different stores, SMEs, subject matter expert with ordering systems, filling in at different stores when managers weren't there. And so I just, been able to train in the business environment, especially retail, under a lot of people, even out here in this area,
Yeah.
I think Ahmad Ekberry was here at Hernando Kroger at one time.
Oh, wow.
It's just so many managers got to learn that, just professionalism in business and how to serve people. And being a pastor, I came back, took on Northeast Side Church of Christ in Bartlett, Tennessee.
Okay.
Still there, been there 15 years now as the pastor. That's when I got married in 2010 and got my first church, official church, and I also bought a house in Horn Lake. So everything came together and God brought me back here, man.
So 2010, you moved to Horn Lake. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how you got to be. You were
might have been 2011, I think about it, because I think I moved back. I graduated in 2010.
So while you were a pastor at the church, you obviously probably have a day job still. So a little
Kroger,
bit.
Yep.
Yeah, Kroger was your place still. Yeah, went back to Kroger. How many years did you have all total in with Kroger?
Maybe a little bit under 20.
Wow. So that's pretty much been your history for your adult life for work.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. In a management role as well, different places.
Played several different roles.
Yeah. What do they call them? Key employees a lot of times. They have that terminology in the grocery store world. They I think it's a key holder maybe or something like that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. I knew this just from way back when. I had a buddy that kind of worked
and that's
his way
actually how
through
most
that.
people in Horn Lake know, because I started at the Horn Lake Kroger by Target, but I ended when the pandemic hit. It was 2020, 2021? 2020. Mm-hmm. I ended to bring my daughter from daycare, get my daughter out of daycare so she wouldn't be impacted by the virus. So I just did. And after that, I just became a full-time pastor.
Wow. Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah. And that wasn't a good time for churches either, because you had to start. That's where you learned to start having online services and everything.
We preached to empty chairs for about a year and a half almost.
Yeah, a lot of Zoom, video, internet stuff, a lot of that stuff. Yes. So you learned a lot about that during that time. So at that time, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you get on the board to be an alderman. Is that right?
Oh, 2017. So you got a few years later.
Yeah.
I became a planning commissioner of Ward 5. LaShonda Johnson, when she won her first race as alderman of Ward 5, she called me to be a planning commissioner. I did work with helping out with her campaign a little bit. Knew a lot of people in the community in a short time. I'm that neighbor that like to know everybody.
I am too. I want to know everybody that's in my neighborhood.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So that opportunity blessed me with a chance to get to know the city more.
Right.
There's nothing like, it's easy to see it from the outside, but the closer you get inside, you see how things really work, and God will start showing you can impact this. You can help make a difference.
Absolutely. So, Planning Commission. 2017, is that right?
Yeah, 2017.
When do you become an alderman?
You never were?
I
wasn't an alderman.
Okay, I was thinking you were an alderman.
Man, I skipped over that.
Skipped over that to the mayorship. So you did run once before.
Yes, sir.
And you're currently the Horn Lake mayor that you got elected in 2025. I guess back in the summer we had the election, and that's when you came into office, about July 1st. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you've been in office now for roughly 6 months, getting close to. Actually, when this show releases, it's probably going to be right on the 6 month mark.
Yes.
We were just talking about that. So we'll probably release on the 31st of December. So this is a couple of weeks out from that, just so everybody knows the timeline. But so you ran for mayor once before, though. 2021. And who was your primary opponent?
Mayor Latimer.
A very close race.
Close race, yes,
You almost won that one too, right?
I think it was within like 80 votes also.
Oh, my goodness, man. That just shows you, I guess, the division, if it's pretty even.
And also, you got to remember, Cole Bostic also ran as an independent.
Oh, so he split some votes too.
Yes.
To me, I have a hard time with that one.
That's my buddy, though.
I know, but I'm saying, like, from, that happened in a presidential election back in the early 90s with Ross Perot and him. He basically cost George Bush the election because he split the vote. So I understand how that works sometimes, but things happen the way they happen, and then so you hung in there, continuing just to wait your opportunity to run again. And
just keep learning, keep meeting people.
And learn more about. I think time gives you, I'm sure even at time when you were, waiting on your next opportunity, you were watching closely to what development was going on, the growth that was taking place within the city, which, by the way, that particular mayor, there's a lot of things happened under him. We got a lot of new things in the Horn Lake area.
Yes.
I always tell people, I live in the Walls community, which neighbors Horn Lake. And if I go anywhere shopping, I got to go to Horn Lake. That's my first opportunity. And that's where I spend all my extra dollars, whether it be fast food, getting gas, Walmart, Kroger, haircuts, whatever. That's just where we go. That's our town,
And pretty much that's the whole west side.
Yeah, the
northwest side, you got to think about it. I think Clarksdale, one of them, is also a city, probably like 27,000. I think it's one of them.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this north side, Horn Lake is the largest city on the west.
Yeah.
So it's natural for all your community, small towns,
to come
to Horn Lake.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I ran off of that. Man, if we build Horn Lake, we can help a lot of these small towns also with things they need. Keep pushing it toward the west.
Gives you a little closer access. It's busy in Horn Lake now, man. Goodman Road, I oftentimes come out of the bank up there. I bank there as well. Oftentimes thinking, like, where in the world are all these people coming from? You know what I mean? Like, it's growing fast, and I think just people also come into the area to shop and whether it be out of Memphis, out of Tunica, Walls, that whole west side, Eudora, people come up from that area, and the way that they're structured, you're kind of surrounded by South Haven to the north and to the east, both, and also Walls community from the other, from the west side, and of course Nesbitt and part of Hernando from the south side. And so you got people that are closer to you than they are the town that they're actually in, and that's what happens. Like people that live maybe along State Line Road that's in the South Haven city limits, but they're technically all that stuff. Yeah, they're going to shoot right down through there. Many years ago, maybe 20 plus years ago, I used to see Mayor Willie Harrington all the time in Kroger in Horn Lake. And I thought, what is he doing? I'm like, this is the closest thing to his house, because of the way we're logistically located. That's right. Yeah.
He's in there about once or twice a week when I was there.
Yeah. Stop and talk to everybody. I mean, he was definitely.
He went to school with my dad, so we always
so
talked about that at Melrose.
Yep. And there's a lot of people that want to access Horn Lake, and the fact that it's been growing. I mean, it seems like all the time there's something new popping up. Right. With that being said, any secrets you can let out today that something new's coming?
GE Vernova coming right there on the State Boulevard.
Who?
So GE Vernova, one of the GE company.
GE.
Yeah. So
okay.
they're coming soon. They're already
Boulevard.
moving. Yep, they're moving in right now. So
very cool.
That's going to be big. Bring a lot of jobs and
that's great, man.
Also employ a lot of people. We just praying that a lot of them out of Horn Lake.
Yes, that's right. Well, I know that when y'all go in and negotiate things like that, the whole idea is the focus be on local citizens getting opportunities, because, man, look, people don't realize this. A lot of the resources that you have there, it's not just shopping, but there are industry. There are industry opportunities there, ever growing. I mean, we've got some warehouses. I know everybody knows about the warehouses that come in. Not always invited, but maybe told you're getting a warehouse from the state level sometimes. I know how that I know that happens, and you just got to be like, okay, I guess we're going to allocate this land for that, with the idea that's going to bring some jobs and new infrastructure opportunities and things of that nature. But from a standpoint of like businesses, though, yes, I mean, we have named some of the biggest ones you know of in your city limits that you value the most. Industry. Industry-wise, you got Amazon over there. What is it? Not O'Reilly. Newlyweds is there. By the way, if people don't know what Newlyweds is, if you are go to your condiment section over in your refrigerator right now and pick up a bottle. They probably made it. You know what I mean? They probably packaged it. I don't care what it says on it. That's what they do. They provide services to make and package from barbecue sauces to seasonings. Yes, everything, sir. Man. So Newlyweds is a real, if people haven't ever worked there and know it, it's a hidden treasure. It really is. I mean, they create a lot of products you and I eat every day. Right. If you see Sweet Baby Ray's, probably produced in Newlyweds in Horn Lake, Mississippi. So very cool on that. And then, of course, some of the other ones that I can think of, obviously, in the surrounding community. Right Height, man, it's Up Churches. I mean, man. And then not even to talk about some of just the amazing organizations. One of my favorites that I deal with, and I love to support them and talk about them all the time, is the Dream Center of Horn Lake. Oh, love it. They're an amazing organization. And they're so involved, man, with everybody. Yeah, man, their support with the schools, especially, man. Yes. You can't. You rarely can go to an event at the schools and they're not there. Yeah, they're involved in everything, and they don't care. They just want to help people. That's all it's about. So Jenna Kern and those folks over there, great job as always. Mayor is going to be coming to see y'all soon. I got a feeling. Yeah, he's going to be checking out more of what y'all got going on. Their medical office they have in there to provide services for the public is nice. I mean, it's very, very nice, So I always say that look for resources within your community. And if you don't have insurance, that's a great place to resource the Dream Center. Right. Yeah. So we have a lot of churches, obviously, Church Road, et cetera. You have a portion of that in your area. Yes. But our community relies on that a lot of times to take care of the public needs. And I know you being a pastor, you're familiar with almost every one of them. Yes, sir. So with the growth that you've seen take place, churches have been on the downslide for attendance starting in probably COVID. It just got worse and worse and worse. Have you seen an uptick or a downtick in, obviously the faith-based community as far as the churches? It depends on the church. Yeah. I always tell, we just started our faith leaders group in Horn Lake. Okay. To bridge the gap between government and religion. But the faith group
has the ability to really assist with a lot of the things government can't.
That's right.
In the community. So what we did was we challenged the churches, all the pastors come together once a quarter with me. They supposed to meet once a month
right.
with each other.
Yeah.
But just to talk about the needs of the community and how we can help them get into the community. That's the goal.
That's right.
You know, I can't always we can't go and cut everybody's yard that neglected and code enforcement on. But guess what? Yeah. Guess what these faith groups can do? Yeah. They're not bound to laws where they can't go and help somebody in need and be fair. You know, so
not even just that, but obviously helping with food needs.
That's right.
Clothing,
disasters,
all that stuff. So we rely very heavily on our churches and our individuals in our communities. Kind of the way you know me is through the Feed My Lambs organization.
Correct.
You seen what I was doing with those folks, and I think this past fall you called me. I'm not even sure how we got our numbers together, but I don't even know how I messaged you or something one time.
Yes.
WhatsApp or something, maybe. I can't remember what it was. I was like, this guy's kind of hard to get a hold of. But I was just curious about maybe having you come on the show. And then you reached out to me, I think it was when we were having our event, and saying you were wanting to come in, and it was super busy, and you were afraid you had an obligation. You didn't know if you'd get out of there.
And we was right down the street at the first responders breakfast at New Hope.
Yeah, there you go.
Church.
There you go. So again, seeing what that particular church, Minor Memorial Methodist Church in Walls, also that pastor, Sam Jones, actually has the Methodist Church in Horn Lake. And I'm going to make that connection with y'all. He asked me about that. So to work with him, he's probably one of those faith leaders you probably could get involved in that group that you're talking about. But we rely on them so heavily because the government is, first of all, in Mississippi, I always say this, and I know I'm going to make some enemies of it, but they don't want to do nothing for you. The state of Mississippi don't want to allocate no funds to help nobody. You know what I mean?
I'm learning the hard way. You got a big, man. You got a big.
You got a big, son. I mean, you got a really big.
Get on your knees, man. You got to go knees big.
I don't know what it is, man. It's, they say it's a lack of resources, Jimmy, but I don't think so. I think it's just like pull yourself up by your bootstraps kind of an ideology of like, I can make it. Why can't you make it? Right. Where everybody's not got the same starting point in life, that's part of it. And then, but some of the things that I want to talk to you about is like your feelings on opportunities to have some community centers a little more oriented in the municipality. From the resistance over time of building community centers. As our city and towns grow, we have more and more people in need, and homelessness becomes an issue. Even though you don't think there is, they're there. I promise you, they're there.
It's a small community.
It's a small community. It wouldn't take a lot. I know a lot of it is like, we don't want that in our backyard. So if you build it, they're going to come. You know what I mean? That's been the theory in the past. So if you build a homeless shelter, it's going to be full and it's going to be overrunning out in the streets. I understand that, but it's still a human need, man. That's we have to take care of each other. That's my thing. So whether it be food, housing, clothing, and especially education, those are the things we have to really focus on in our communities. What's your thoughts on that?
Man, look, that's one of my top priorities. And matter of fact, I mentioned in my campaign, we met with some legislators yesterday.
Okay.
A couple of state senators that was here.
Yeah.
We met at the Northwest Ranger Center. So one of the things on my list of things I need
today. Yeah.
is a community center. I went to visit Forever Young. And was it Bank Plus Sports Center over there in South Haven one day? I was invited over there to look at it, and I really like it. My boy Warren Robinson over there, he's one of the managers of the park side, and to see a place where your seniors can come together.
Yes.
No senior has to feel alone. They have a community.
Right. Often forgotten about.
Often forgotten about. They have activities all day, game rooms upstairs, downstairs.
Yeah.
Workout rooms. They have banquets sponsored by companies. Then on the other side, you have the indoor soccer field. You have a store. You have batting ranges.
Yes.
But to piggyback off that idea, which is so good. I went in that Forever Young Center for the seniors. You easily see 200 seniors in there.
Just enjoying themselves.
Yeah. And I saw so many of them that was from Horn Lake. Just excited to see me, So one thing I want to bring to Horn Lake is that we have a place that help families, right?
Yes.
People don't realize community centers also help with educating people who need it, helping people with jobs and finding jobs, keep youth out the streets. You know, a lot of people talk about crime problems, crime issues, but a lot of times you got a single mother who has children at home by themselves while she's working a job or two, you know. Yeah. So how do we have, where are the resources? Easy to say lock them up.
Yeah. Well, I think that goes back to our premise of why the state not wanting to fund those things, right? Like, and I know we always say the state, well, folks, our dollars go out to them, right? First, that's how it works. So we got to get them back to fund these organizations and things like the mayor's talking about here. Otherwise,
you can't afford not to fund them.
Yeah. So one of the things is we have, as Chris left a little bit earlier, Coach Kent, we were talking about the Hope Center. You know, and one of the things they do is create mentorship with young ones that may be coming from single homes, grandmothers raising them, whatever the case may be. So again, we're relying too much on individuals and organizations to do the work that our tax dollars could help do if we had a facility. A lot of times it's just putting the money and the investment in place. You know, we got a new great agri-center that our county just funded.
Correct.
Amazing. They were showcasing it last night. Had a big rodeo down there. Right. Lots of people.
I plan on being there this evening.
I do too. I'm gonna probably try to get down there because our good friend, you were on the phone with him when he come in. We'll mention you, Ray Dennison. You know, he's our guy. Right. You know, on our side of the county. There's 5 of them, right? And so Ray's our guy on our side of the county, and I know that he works close with you on a lot of things going on, and trying to, you know, their job is to allocate funding and distribute, you know, as budget needs throughout the county, and work with the municipalities on special needs, I'm guessing, you know. But why can't we, if we can create something like that, a multi-million-dollar facility agenda, and it's paid for through taxpayer dollars over time, why can each town and as we go through the municipalities have some kind of community organization like you're talking about, a building that's strictly designed for community events. You know, they can be organized, not to say rented. I don't want that. I don't want it to be like a rental facility for things. But like you said, like the one you went to and seen the seniors involved. And then you got the youth over here with the fields, the private batting cages, this, that, and the other, that they can access and use any time of the year, by the way. You know, that's a good thing. You know, Hernando has the
YMCA.
The YMCA. And not only that, but the track and field place where they got, what is that place down there on Green Tea, the Gatorade. Derek, what's the name of the facility down here off of Green Tea, the track and field place?
Gatorade Fieldhouse.
Gatorade Fieldhouse. Have you been to that?
No, I haven't been there.
It's been there a couple of years. But anyway, the Gatorade Track and Field House, Hernando has that. I know Olive Branch. I got Ken Adams, Mayor Adams, coming on after you next week. So he'll be one of my guests. I'm going to talk to him about some of the stuff they have in plan as well, similar to what they've done over there in Snowden. You know, there has been everybody goes, well, we don't have the money they got. Well, yeah, you do and you don't. Like they find a way to make it happen. You know what I mean? I understand that per capita incomes are different, home values are different, so the tax base can be a little bit different, but they also have a bigger expenditure. So it should be all things are equal in that aspect, from my opinion, like from a standpoint of reinvesting into your city, like baby steps, you know. It's how we got Latimer Lakes.
Right.
You know, the ball fields, you know, that's an amazing asset for Horn Lake. You know, my kids grew up in that over there. I loved it, you know, well maintained. I haven't been over there in a long time, but I'm sure that's still probably one of your crown jewels in the community.
Yes,
so going forward from that, you know, part of the problem is you have to kind of grow south or west because everything east and north has been taken up already. So you got to find the land to do some of these things. So what would be your if you had, like today, your I guess your lottery of ideas of having a community center, where would it be and what would it look like?
Right next to City Hall.
Right next to City Hall. Yes, there's room. There's room right there.
Between us and the apartments next door.
Yes,
that
I agree.
land with the water tower behind it.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of when it came to talking about some of these subjects, when it comes to youth come together, being able to go play basketball and stuff, people worried about
a crowd,
fights and stuff like that. So
they're not going to happen at the police department.
So there you go.
That's right. You're right next door to all the officers. I think that would keep things in check.
If that's your fear, guess what? We can solve that easily.
That'd be solved.
And then Horn Lake already on the land.
Yeah, it's already. It wouldn't even be that much of a cost. Land's there.
I know. So. Yeah, Kirby. I know Commissioner Kirby Carter. She invited me to a Boys and Girls Club Club fundraiser in Tupelo. I think it's at the Renaissance Bank Center down there. And man, just to see the work that they have done in the community with helping kids and keeping up with them, and their success as they go, sort of help also guide. And how do you bring in another party that's already doing the work?
That's right. That's
or
right.
the YMCA.
Well, that's what I was talking about with the Hope Center, like Stacy and Dodd and Kenneth McKinney with the Hope Center. They're already doing a lot of that work. Sometimes and they started in Horn Lake, by the way. I don't know if you know that.
Right.
And it's grown exponentially beyond that now, but like they take the whole families. When they take the kid, the whole family comes with them. That's their part of their deal. Everybody enjoys the same things. But if they had a municipality that really just kind of like wrapped their arms around them and said, hey, you're ours. Now you can go do other things, but here, you're ours. We're
no, they definitely ours.
Yeah, for sure. And then like have a facility to where they could operate their program without having to find constant resources doing so. I don't know if that's the case for them or other organizations, mentor programs to where you have a facility where you can help them, try to develop these young folks. And because, man, I'm telling you right now, we have a lot of opportunity, we have a lot of great people in the community that's trying to do good things, but a lot of the times it just comes down to resources, trying to, it's always about the money, right? So
at the end of the day, every dream still need to be financed.
It has to be financed. and speaking of that, we've got some great people behind most of us that are doing things like that, that are willing, when they see you're doing the right thing, they'll get behind you. If they've got the resources, they try to help. But they got limits too, So, we go after it from a standpoint of like trying to get everybody to buy in, and then like from a standpoint of where you're elected in a Democratic from a Democratic Party to be in a mayor, that's what I also want to tell people is like maybe your candidate didn't win. But guess what? Jimmy Stokes is the mayor of Horn Lake. Let's support him for the next 4 years and try to help him succeed. Bring new ideas, bring growth. By the way, I knew your opponent very well. He's a great man. I like Danny.
Oh, Danny?
Yeah, Danny's a great guy, man.
Let me tell you something. People don't realize Danny and I have a mad respect for each other.
Yeah.
When I was on the commissioner board, he was on the commissioner board also before becoming an alderman. He became the chair of the board, and he told them I would not take the chair position unless Jimmy Stokes is the co-chair.
Right.
And so people look at these.
They think you're opposition.
But you're not.
Yeah.
No, we're not. We're not. Even Latimer. Man, I would go sit in Latimer's office, talk to him.
Yeah.
Get to know him and learn more.
That's why I'm saying, like if people could understand, like, let's just separate the us versus them mentality. That's what I want to see. Hey guys, this show is brought to you in part by RoofWorks Roofing Company. Not only just friends of the family, friends of the show, but great people, a great company. You can trust them for any of your roofing needs. Call them today. Check out what they have to offer. Free quotes, free inspections. And I can tell you right now, they're going to back up their work. Call them today at 662-303-0345. You can also reach them at roofworksmidsouth.com. So the one video you said you were watching one of my shows, Miss Pam Pegram, before you come in today, and that's her little mantra is like do the right thing at the right time all the time. You know what I mean? And you don't have to worry about everything else, So, and that's if we all just kind of like try to do that. Don't hate the other person just because they don't align with your political points of view. You know what I mean?
Right,
we can agree to disagree. It doesn't make you a bad person just because you're a Democrat and I'm a Republican or whatever the case.
We still need each other.
We do. And in order for our town, every 4 years, if we just go through this crazy thing like we do at the government level too, of just trying to destroy the person the whole time they're in office, you're setting yourself up for failure constantly because you got to overcome all that again, so the whole thing is like, okay, if you want to get your guy or person in next time, then you just have do a better job at campaigning. But right now, let's help this particular individual succeed at their job, like at every turn. I want to help you succeed, Jimmy, regardless of your party affiliation. I want you to help our town and our community grow and become a better, safer opportunity.
All of our success is tied together.
Yes,
that's what people don't realize. We either can waste 4 years.
Yeah.
Oh, we can build it 4 years. I don't look at the previous administration as wasted years.
No,
as a matter of fact, I like to sit down. I look at the accomplishment. I go to Soto County GIS, and I go back and look at Horn Lake. years ago when it was just number farmland.
Yeah.
And you go throughout the years, you see the development. Man, I was just impressed by
Yeah, because you didn't really know before like
Right.
2010, really the growth that took place. I could start coming around here in like 95, 94. My parents moved to Horn Lake, Mississippi in 1994. And it pretty much ended where that Kroger you were at. That was a jitney or something out there. I can't remember what that was. But after that, there wasn't nothing. You know what I mean? And I think, you know, for a long time it stayed that way. There wasn't a whole lot of nothing over there. So
Latimer came to my office. I said, "Man, I said you was here when there wasn't an I-55."
Yeah. That's right. So when you think about the cool stuff that's around here, like think about this part. Highway 51 was it, right?
It was it.
So Bullfrog Corner was a real deal. You know what I mean? In Horn Lake, Mississippi.
Right.
So much stuff, you know, went on around the state line, 55. Four-way stop at state line and 51. I'm sorry, I meant to say 51. And then all of a sudden, every stop you make, when you got to Bullfrog Corner, that was it.
Right.
There wasn't nothing else going on past that south. You know what I mean? Until you got all the way to Hernando.
I heard about that nice steakhouse that was right there, man.
Yes, I did too. And I didn't know about that one either, to be honest with you. I had a guest on a while back. Somebody was telling me that their I know it was Ricky Neal of Neal Racing. Mm-hmm. His parents started that first full service steakhouse right there. That was theirs.
We need it back.
Yeah. Right there in the same spot.
Right.
Yeah, I would agree, right? Like, let's put it right there. I know we'd have to build it up a little bit because it's right there in that floodplain. Because they didn't have any building codes back in the day, just so you know. That's a real dangerous area. But
which is why you have a lot of buildings in these flooded areas.
Yes, because they didn't have building codes. You know, Kingston Estates over there on the north side of Goodman Road. My parents, that's where they moved to, and guess what? It was a nightmare. Mm-hmm. Every time it rained, the water would like literally come up to their back door. So I know that's something we need to talk about today. I know there's a plan going forward to deal with all that stuff finally, and there is some initiatives that's going to cost hundreds of millions of dollars that you guys are actually having to go after right now from the federal and the state level to try to accumulate between you and South Haven to get these funds allocated to take care of this problem, because you've only got a few years to get this done, correct?
Yeah, 2031 wastewater plant. Mm-hmm. We have to be off Memphis wastewater system by 2031. I believe
think it is. Yeah,
2031. So
that number's big.
300 million.
Yeah, that's big.
Horn Lake don't have.
Listen, and look, man, nobody wants new taxes either, man. So and I don't think South Haven has it either. And the county's having to figure out a way to try to help us up. I mean, there's going to be all hands on deck. There's going to be 4 things going on.
Because it's going to impact the cost for all citizens across DeSoto County.
Yes, every one of them.
So as much help we can get, it's going to make a big difference.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you build a wastewater plant, who's going to pay for it?
That's right. And we have to have them as the areas grow. One of the biggest issues is it's just more population, more growth, more services are needed. You experience this with your own police department. You got to have more officers. You got to have more sanitation people that's in charge of things. The
more you grow, the bigger the bill gets.
Oh yeah, man, bigger the time. Yeah.
I give people this example. It just like in your daily home, if your grown kids move back and they bring other kids,
oh my gosh,
the expenses go up.
I've had that happen, Jimmy. I had that happen.
It just recently happened to me too.
Did it really?
But it's a good thing.
Oh, it's a blessing in so many ways.
One thing about home, everybody should always be able to come home.
Oh
right?
yeah, absolutely.
But the thing is, at the end of the day, expenses increase.
Yes, they do.
So either you got to get a second job, or you got to increase your work that you're doing. So the key is, as Horn Lake grew over the years, we got to keep doing things to build a stronger economy.
Sure.
To be able to meet that need, from taxes.
So, and one of those things is obviously property taxes, where a lot of it comes from. Sales tax. I mean, obviously, more commerce. That's the important part. People don't realize. When I look out there and I see that road full of people, I know it's happening because I don't know where they're coming from. One of the areas, if you drive down Goodman Road, especially from like 55 all the way out to 61, you really can't see the houses and the people. It's just you see along the edge of the road. It's businesses or trees. That's about it. But behind those trees is just thousands of communities.
Right.
And that's where they're coming from, but I don't realize how fast they're building up, even out in my area, and a lot of them, it used to be like nobody was on the road but me when I was heading to my house. And now there's 100 cars around me constantly, so the growth is happening. It's coming where we want it or not. It's how it's managed from the county and municipality levels.
That's how DeSoto County became the second largest county in the state.
Fast, too, by the way.
I mean, you look at the 90s, But at one time when South Haven was the fastest growing city in the country.
It was, yeah.
And so you look at all that a lot of those people also came to Horn Lake, Olive Branch. Olive Branch is having a strong.
One of the things about Olive Branch is they're big clean. I think in the state, they're like the most economical growth there is.
And you see all them jobs over there?
Yes, yeah.
Shout out to me, Adams.
Yes, they're doing a good job. But I will say this for them, and part of the problem is it's not that it's coming in, it's how you manage it. You know, Chip Johnson, by the way, the mayor of Hernando, like when you think about the job he's done over the course of the last 20 years or whatever he's been involved, I know he's been there forever. Sorry, Chip, I don't know the details, but I love him, by the way, as a good friend. Managing the growth, because it's coming. Like, you can't stop that. When people are wanting to move to your area, you're like, well, how are we going to take all that on? So then it becomes a plan. Like, how do we accept this? How do we manage it? Sometimes it gets ahead of what you can manage, like from the services you provide, getting water services and sewer services to people. It's really, and getting underground done for them, to where it's electrical, plumbing, et cetera, in those areas, or internet, things like that. Like, you're trying to get services to these folks as they're coming because they have made a choice to come to your community, which is not rural in their eyes. So you have to provide services. It's also how you generate revenue for the town without writing speeding tickets. Because we don't want that part.
That's right. And you don't want your police officers feeling pressure or code enforcement feeling pressure to reach a quota.
Listen, by the way, I want to say this real quick about code enforcement. They get a bad rap in Horn Lake, man. They do. They're giving them heat all the time over there.
Trust me, I get a lot of calls.
Oh, my goodness. But here's the thing, man. Look, one of the problems managing a city is blight. It's a big issue, and if you get somebody that's just, they don't have HOAs. So what they have is code enforcement. Come by, listen, maybe some of them are a little aggressive. They could be at times, and they have to be reeled in. They're still people, some of them are very black and white. So, Mayor, if you say, go out there and if that grass is over 3.5 inches tall, you start writing citations. Well, there's some gray areas there. Maybe I keep mine long, but I keep it cut. You know what I mean? Right. And so this other guy's like, no, I measured it. He's getting a ticket. Even though it's cut, clean, whatever, there are those people. I get that. But for the most part, it's just to try to keep your property values up.
That's right.
It's trying to help others understand that, like, nobody wants a dirty neighbor. You know what I mean? Like, you got a great manicured place. You're taking care of it. You're parking parking on the concrete. You know what I mean? Where you're supposed to, and, walking the path on the sidewalks and stuff. And then you got these other folks in the neighborhood that are not doing those things. They're parking their cars in their front yards. That's why code enforcement is there. Keep your property values good. And it's a struggle in every community, by the way. It's not just Horn Lake. It's just, I think they had a bigger issue there at the time, and they had to get on top of it.
Shout out to all the code enforcement officers.
Yeah. They take some heat.
That's not a job for the week.
They take some heat.
they take heat. But, like I tell I this is what I want you to do. Number one, do it by the book.
Yeah.
Be fair.
Yeah.
If you see 1 yard that's overgrown, don't skip the one down the street.
Yeah. Even if he's your buddy, man, you got to get on him.
Treat everybody the same. Because at the end of the day, it work out for the property owners. And keep our homes, the value of our homes, and the value growing. Another thing is, a lot of codes people just don't know about are for your safety.
They are.
They're for your safety. So for instance, you can't use your garage as a storage.
Right. It'll catch on fire. It's the biggest matchstick in the whole place.
I told us, we have people that do our social media, and I said maybe we should start sharing information.
I think
of the why.
Yeah, the transparency.
If we could start, like, maybe get with our code enforcement director and what do you want to talk about this month? Let's make this the subject so that people understand. Oh, that's why. Yeah. We want to see grass in your yard.
Absolutely.
We don't want you parking cars out and tearing up the grass.
I think what people is, though, is people just feel attacked. You know what I mean? Like, personally attacked. They feel that way because somebody's coming knocking on their door saying, if you don't, then that's what's going to happen.
Well, our officers should operate out of respect, too.
Sure, they should. But what I'm saying is, if they don't, though, have consequences, then where does it stop? Because if some people are just so lazy, they don't care what it looks like. They don't have pride in their property. You know what I mean? That's unfortunate, but that's true. So, if you're going to live in our city limits, there's some laws and guidelines and standards we have to go by. When I've lived in the county most of my life, and, we have a HOA. But most people take good care of their properties. But there's a reason why that the state requires a HOA with new developments within the county. because there's no oversight from anybody else. There's nobody over there to tell them like, hey, you can't build that fence over this height or over here. There's a reason, because, you have to have somewhat of keeping property values good. Because, we live in Mississippi. You get out of town, you can see $1 million house next to a single wide trailer in some spots. You know what I mean? That's just Mississippi for you, and we don't want that inside of our municipalities. So they work really hard. It costs a lot of money to upkeep. And by the way, folks, people are trying hard. It's like nobody's like, I always say, I wonder what they're doing with all that money, buddy. If you only knew. You know what I mean? I bet you were shocked when you started seeing the spreadsheets on the city expenditures for certain things, and to go explain to people like, now I know why they couldn't do that. Man, it wasn't there.
My first week after the first board meeting, I was just nervous signing checks.
Oh my goodness. They were big ones too, weren't they?
Like, man, where's this coming from? Just getting to know everything.
Absolutely. And then like, roads, people give you a hard time about Horn Lake's roads. Well, some of that's not Horn Lake's problem. Some of it's county, which, by the way, shout out to the county. They probably got the best road department there is, man. They keep our county roads just tip top. The state is lacking, though. I mean, they are the worst about coming in. It gets put on the agenda, but we don't know when it's going to get done. They have so much to overcome and so much to look at. But a lot of your streets coming through your area of your town are state, and so you can't go out there and patch them. They actually will give you a hard time if you do that. So I've talked to Chip about that before. Most of all of his major stuff in Hornando is all state roads. So he has a tough time patching things,
not too long. A few weeks ago we had to ice the bridge. I know our Mallet Creek got iced up.
Yes, and it's, people went everywhere. It was like a skating rink.
Yeah. So people don't realize that's a state highway.
Yeah, they're supposed to ice them. They're supposed to maintain them.
Yeah, so, I did have a conversation with other mayors about did they put salt on their bridges on Goodman 302.
They have to go out and do it a little extra.
Well, we did do it. We did it, but a lot of times they have their funds. Yes. And here we are taking our funds.
Well, that's just it. Like, so you have budgets. And obviously you have to try.
But for the safety of the people, let's make sure that's clear too.
That's a fact.
We have to do. We have to
absolutely.
do.
And again, Goodman Road is a state highway, and it has to be maintained by the state. And they really don't want you out there fooling with their road. That's another thing from a municipality
you got to get permission.
You have to get permission. If there is like a pothole and they're like, guys, we can't get to it for another week. They're like, this is intimate. I mean, it has to be done now. Like, it has to be done now. They might allow you to go out there and try to patch on it till they can get to it, just to kind of create from an accident or something like that taking place. But you have to get permission. You can't just go out there and do it. I would get fired immediately because I would just go do it without asking permission. They would be like, sir, just get rid of him.
I'm sure they don't mind about small stuff. Like filling potholes, stuff like that.
But overall, though, they've done a pretty good job.
But as a city, we do have enough to do on our own streets.
Man, yeah. I mean, if you ever just like, it's so easy not to think about it, but like if people had access to some of the software you had to overlook like the grid patterns of your city and stuff, like on the GSI maps and things, they took time to look at it. There's a lot of roads just in a small town like Horn Lake, You think there's not, but there is. All those neighborhoods, every one of those little roads, you got to maintain them, take care of them. And over time. And
that's where the most funding for your municipality should go to.
Yeah.
It should go to the stuff that we're actually responsible for.
Absolutely.
And,
and at times in the past, it maybe not got as much attention paid to as it should have, and I know that you yourself, I've noticed that. You're making a bigger effort to address some of those things, and I've witnessed that, because when you get off into some of the older neighborhoods that's been there since like the 70s and 80s, they get forgotten about.
Yeah, man. People, I get a lot of calls about roads, but people don't realize how many roads have probably been neglected over the years.
Sidewalks.
Sidewalks. So
that's the biggest one.
One of the things the board just recently did, we stopped a $4 million contract for LED lights through Path, a company called Path. And we saved $4 million by going with energy LED lights that produce the same lights.
Right.
And $40,000.
Oh, my goodness.
So with that being done, we're able to restart the street program, which was going to be neglected for 1 year. We can't afford to neglect service to our streets for 1 year. And technically, the funds, $4 million wasn't there.
Right. You have to go find it.
Then we would have to do the maintenance versus energy. If you have a storm, you report you report the light outage on Energy website, they come out and fix it.
Well, there's a service. So you're saying, not knocking the previous administration. I don't want to do that.
No, we're not doing. Yeah,
but you're saying that was set up with them prior to you coming in to possibly be the service provider for that. Whereas, why not use a local partner that's already in place?
Already there. They own the light poles.
Yes,
they do the maintenance.
Yeah.
So it's not just $4 million. It's $4 million plus
all the services
of a third party or your public works or having a light division.
Absolutely.
Man, to me, it just made more sense with taxpayers' funding.
So you look right there. You saved $4 million for the town.
So just
right off the top, just by making a decision. Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah, and so that can be reinvested. Hey, listen, if you're listening, guys, that's where we can build that community center next door to Horn Lake City Hall.
We were trying to find out where the $4 million was coming from.
Right, it wasn't there. That's just it. It wasn't there. That's the whole point. You don't want your taxes to go up. That's the thing that you're fighting so hard about. Like this millage. Talk to people about that because the state levied a 80% rate on homeowners this year.
Right.
And everybody, man, I know when that come out, that was about the time you got in the office.
Yes.
And you wasn't even really prepared to have those conversations, I'm sure. Because
my shoes was barely in the building.
Yeah. Didn't even have your socks on good. You know what I mean? like definitely weren't laced up for sure.
And didn't have, at that time, didn't have a city administrator,
to really explain it to you.
Previous city administrator had retired. And, I've tried to bring in a transition team to help me be prepared for day one, and that was denied.
Yeah.
And, transition team's normal. In a few weeks, I'm going to be able to see anything and everything.
Hopefully,
anyway.
Yeah.
So you have experts around you.
Sure.
I had Chief Gamage from Olive Branch was on it, just people that was going to really come in and help, say this probably be good for your first 6 months, 4 months, 90 days, whatever. But to walk in that door and you're dealing with, okay, now you got the state saying, oh, y'all got to lower the millage. Then the county telling us we got to lower the millage. And I'm trying to figure out, what's our millage?
Yeah, what is our millage?
So I went and learned that, compared to other cities, Olive Branch was over $1 million, right at $1 million. South Haven at that time was right under $1 million, $982,000. Then Horn Lake is like $317,000.
Way below.
So when we started talking about dropping millage, we was going to drop it.
Yeah.
The key is how do we drop it without cutting our services?
Yeah, that's right.
You don't want to lose police officers.
Explain to people that don't know why the state did what they did, like raised it so high, because they wanted theirs.
Correct.
And then they're going to say, hey, Mr. County man, Mr. City man, you got to take a cut if you're going to keep your people happy, because we're going to get ours.
It rolled downhill.
It did.
And at the end of the day, we can't pass the buck on the municipal level anywhere.
No.
So,
but then, that's the thing. Like, you got to find out a way, because, man, there was some heat coming on them mayors, son. Like, everybody had to answer.
And they had like we started it or something.
Oh, no, because I think y'all were as blindsided as anybody.
That's right.
And I don't know where that initiative come from. But
we did drop 5 meals. I know a lot of people say, they're not going to do it. We did drop 5 meals. We worked it out.
Sure.
Our city administrator, Miss Carter, she's awesome. She come from Coldwater.
Give her a good shout out.
Miss Tanya Carter.
Tanya Carter,
the most fabulous city administrator in the land.
The whole state of Mississippi.
And we have a good team. We meet. I don't make decisions. I meet with my executive leaders when it comes to stuff. I tell them all the time, I'm learning. I knew a lot, but I'm also learning a lot.
Yeah.
So walking in to do that, you needed experts. And I believe the best leadership skill that I've used so far is building a team around me.
Yeah.
Building a team that have the knowledge. That's why I built my church like that.
Yes. And you have to build your county or your community like that.
Build your community.
I think that one of the things, I always say this, like, well, they got to get it from somewhere. So if they're dropping 5 meals, where's it coming? Where are they going to make it up at? That's the trick, folks. They got to figure that out. Like, it's got to be either in, I don't even know how to explain that really, but there has to be a way. It's got to come back somehow, because you got to still provide services. Well, if they don't, they got to cut a service somewhere, and we don't want that.
I tell you, the best thing we've done so far, we just cut back on a lot of wasteful spending.
There you go.
Number one is we walking in. We want to. You spend the first few months really learning what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
We had to catch our bank reconciliations up for 3 years.
Why was that so far behind?
So right now I think we pretty much in 2024 on bank reconciliations.
That is a problem with a lot of municipalities. It is. Like, they get real behind on them. It's not just Horn Lake, by the way.
Right.
I know other municipalities that have had that issue throughout the whole state, and it's a big issue for, like, the auditors and stuff. Like, they're like, why are y'all so far behind? I don't know. I think probably sometimes rotation and employers or employment, like people leave jobs and it doesn't get picked up. They had knowledge that everybody else didn't have sometimes, and they don't know how to go back to it. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is that, but it is not just Horn Lake.
But for me personally, I know my dad taught me just with a checkbook. You balance it every month. You make sure that everything checks out, so that when you write a check, that
it's good. That's right.
It's good.
We're going to be writing hot checks from City Hall, man.
So that's why I was nervous in the first few months. Yeah, man.
What was I set up with?
Like what do we really have? And getting an administrator in there to help deal with some of these things. And we got talented people there.
Yeah.
But the main thing is when we lowering this meal, we're also dealing with, man, what do we really have?
Right. Yeah. You were probably surprised a lot.
But the first thing we did was start taking up all the credit cards.
Good.
The Amazon credit cards.
Government, like city issued cards? Come on, man.
Yeah, man. So I tell you what, we saved a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that we had some programs that wasn't even being used that we had since 2023 that we paid so much money for.
Right.
And
so there was some waste just because people weren't paying attention.
Right.
And,
paying for Munis and Oracles at the same time for years. So things like that. But that's what when you walk into a new home.
Yeah,
you taking ownership of everything.
Well, you got to do it your way.
And you got to figure it out.
And the thing about it is the citizens elected you. You know what I mean?
Correct.
And I know, so for the ones who say, well, I didn't. Well, you know what? He's yours. And this is the thing.
I'm everybody's mayor.
You're everybody's. I even consider you my mayor because of where I live. That's how I look at that.
We service that area when it comes to goods. But that's the thing about me. It's not about race. It's not about party. At the end of the day, I'm elected. I've been a servant all my life, whether it's in retail, whether it's in pastoring. All I've done, I have a love for serving people.
Yeah.
And when it comes to taxpayer dollars, when it comes to what we own as a city, I'm the first one that want to change the culture and how people look at Horn Lake.
Yeah.
I want us to be fiscally responsible. I want us to have excellence when it comes to how we do things. I know a lot of people are mad about not having parade this year, but me, I'm looking at.
Oh, I forgot about that. I was going to ask you about that.
I want to.
You wanted to do it different.
I want to do a safe route. I want a route where. The route we did last year, we blocked in the Kentwood neighborhood.
Yeah.
You come from the middle school, go down there, then come south on 2 lane. But, you only got 2 entry points or exit points from that Kentwood neighborhood.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable.
I agree with
locking
you.
in a neighborhood.
I agree with you.
A lot of people, driveways, what if somebody have a heart attack?
There's a lot of service issues there.
Yeah, and then it can be, I know our emergency service, fire and police department have a lot of concerns about a lot of these events, man. We're not going to stop events. We want to plan them better because Latimer Parking gets so crowded for some events.
There's like 2 ways out.
We can't get emergency services.
And they're narrow roads too, by the way. Like that was built 25 years ago, folks. Like there wasn't half as many people as there is now.
And you have some who may not even be from Horn Lake. They come and a lot of trouble starters. And we want to make sure we're in position where we have help if we need it.
Yeah.
We have invested some stuff in some police equipment that hopefully will help us with the crowd so we can continue to have these events.
Well, you've had a couple incidents, I know, in the last 6 months, ball games and stuff, where things pop up. We have a lot of LEO in the county as a whole. Like that's something we spend a lot of our resources on, is protecting the public through resources through law enforcement agencies. I call it LEO. It's just simple, I guess, short, but from the sheriff's department to each municipality has quite a bit of their own. I guess South Haven is probably one of the biggest ones just because they cover more area, but I mean, we're not under policed by no means.
Oh no. We like quality officers.
Yes,
one thing I love about Chief Pullen is that she's just not hiring anybody else. She want to know that you're a person that's honest, you have integrity, you're going to do the right thing. And I appreciate that. So she don't mind being 5 or 6 officers short if that means getting the right kind of officers.
That's right.
And I'm the kind of person to back up. I don't don't overplay my hand with courts and law enforcement. That's
their job.
I lead a judicial and enforcement side.
Well, I mean, what do you know about it? I mean, that's the thing. They're the experts.
Yeah, they're the experts.
You just got to help guide them and make sure that physically responsible.
But when it comes to some of these events, we just want to make sure. Number one, normally when we have these events, we have every officer in the city working these events overtime normally.
Yeah.
And then a lot of them have to be back at work at 6.
Oh, I know, man.
6 in the morning, and they there at 8, 9 o'clock at night.
It's tough on them. I know they probably like the overtime, but everybody needs a life. You know what I mean?
That's another thing we're doing a lot better. We manage overtime.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes, you want people to make a good living, but also there's a cost to overtime. Like, it's way beyond. Like, you can hire another officer.
I don't like spending the whole week working salaries in one night.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, and so the overall aspect of the parade that people were upset about, I know why. I knew as soon as I saw that, I know what happened. Because, back 20 years ago when my kids were small, we'd go to Horn Lake for the parade, and we'd do it right down Goodman Road. You know what? There wasn't a lot of traffic on Goodman Road back then. That side of Horn Lake, they'd run it pretty much from the library down to like the City Hall. It's kind of where they would run it back then. We're talking early 2000s, Right. And so there wasn't a lot of traffic. It was a big wide area, plenty of room for the people to get on the side of the roads, and everything was safe and slow. It's not that no more, folks. Like, you can't do that. Like, the only thing you could do is maybe call Walmart and say, shut it down for 2 hours. Let's do a parade inside the parking lot, or Kroger or somebody. That's about the only, because there's so much traffic flow in those areas,
I'm looking at the interstate area again, too, because I know they had it there one time.
Yeah.
You got a few businesses over there probably wouldn't mind. A lot of them probably closed.
Yeah.
And that late evening anyway. So
you talking about Interstate Boulevard?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like even if you go back to the school's career tech, they got lots of good little access in and out and stuff. You can do like a mile long thing around the whole loop.
Yeah, places where people can park.
Yes. But
the main thing is you don't disturb
safety,
business, and safety got to be a priority.
Yeah, because like you know this. I mean, the floats are big and cumbersome sometimes. You just got to worry about people running out, and little kids running around. It's got to be a safety plan, and just you didn't feel comfortable this year without doing it the way you did. So y'all
especially after being approched by, like you say, your emergency services.
Yes, they told you, like, man, let's don't do that.
We listened to them,
But I think it still went over. I mean, one of the things, y'all had a tree lighting ceremony, right? That's kind of what you did over there at Latimer. And did it have a big crowd?
Yes.
Well, then it was successful.
And we gave away coats. We had a coat giveaway about a week or two before that.
I remember seeing that.
And it rained that day. Yes. So we brought the rest of the coats that we had.
Did you have someone pitch in and get you guys the coats?
I know Walmart donated to it.
Nice.
I can't remember all the
but you had good partners
yes.
from the community that helped you provide these coats for the school children. Yes. And that's something that I know that's dear to my heart that you and I have talked about. We share a lot in mind. It's like taking care of these kids through food initiatives,
man, there
clothing,
was kids,
education.
There was kids walking up to the tree lighting ceremony with just a T-shirt on.
Oh,
it's cold, man.
Come on, man.
So I just started grabbing them. Taking them to the front of the line.
Yes.
Get the shot of coat now. At least 3 or 4 of them, So, and we're looking out, and these parents really need it,
Yeah, they do.
We assume, even with Heartland Hands over there, they serve a lot of people.
That's another treasure you have in your community. Like, I don't want to dismiss anybody I don't mention. It's just, I know the people I deal with personally.
Right.
And I want to deal with more of these folks because of my foundation that my family and I, the Fancy Nancy Foundation, our initiative are to help struggling nonprofits, keep the doors open and things. That's what we do through the vehicle giveaways. So we've got a Jeep coming up, by the way, that we're doing. We're going to give away with Spider Off-Road, who also is in Horn Lake, Mississippi. They're helping us do that, and we're going to start raffling it off here in just a couple of weeks, probably. Domestic violence. That's what we're fighting on this. And I know that you and I talked about that a little bit, but I want to get with you, Chief of Police, probably yourself. We'll do some promo work, kind of push the Jeep and stuff, the initiative. $20 per ticket. And it's going to be the biggest, baddest Jeep you ever saw. It's going to be really cool.
Oh, man.
And it's going to be wild. We're going to wrap it with domestic violence sayings. It's primarily all to go towards House of Grace mostly, which is, I know they're not in the city of Horn Lake, but they're close, treasure. And it's a county treasure, and there's only one. Underfunded from the state level, And I think the county level would do more if they could. It's just another thing. It's resources, and we have to fund it privately. That's kind of how it works. They get grants, and then they depend on individuals like you and myself to donate to keep it going. And so that's why I say another great organization within our it's a county initiative at this point, but they don't discriminate whether you're from Horn Lake, South Haven, Walls. They don't care.
Right.
If you're a domestic violence in it, and most of the time they're with children, so they're our community. We all have to try to help them. It's kind of the way I look at it. But again, Heartland and Hands, talk about what they do. And I know there's a lot of people that support them as well in the community.
Man, a few weeks ago when we was talking about SNAP benefits being cut off.
Yes.
I was calling around trying to figure out what the next move, and I called, I can't think of the director name over there at Heartland Hands.
Yeah.
And she said, Mayor Stokes, we got it. We ready.
We got you taken care of.
And I said, do I need to send in help? She said, if you send them, we already got a program. From the front door to the back, they're giving out groceries. The volunteers, they do amazing work on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Tuesdays and Thursdays. And
I encourage so many people just go by and visit and see how many retired people that are
over there working.
in there working. I mean, they using the same equipment we used when I was at Kroger.
Yeah, probably some stuff they acquired from like Kroger or Walmart. Just try to help them keep going, That's the one thing about the Dream Center, same thing, there's a lot of the Feed My Lambs organization,
that's right.
Good Samaritans, which is also in Horn Lake. These are all, most of the time, they're obviously women that are, housewives that have a little extra time, their kids grow up or something like that, or they're retirees that are trying to stay busy and want to help the community.
Right.
A lot of volunteers. They don't get paid to do this work. It gives them purpose to serve their community. That's what I'm about. That's what I want to see. And I love the fact we have so much of that in DeSoto County
That's right.
that people don't know about. So part of this show's premise, right, the whole thing, when I started it, I'm like, I've met all these amazing organizations, and I didn't know about them. You know what I mean?
I'm still learning.
And I'm still learning. How do I tell more people about these great places and great things and great people that's doing things? Like, I wanted to help in so many ways, and I find people very resourceful a lot of times, financially or otherwise, connections, whatever. And they're like, that's going on over there? And I'm like, yeah, it needs some help. They're like, man, I'd have done been on that if I'd have known, And man, there again, I seen the need for information. My kids went to Walls Elementary. I didn't know anything about Feed My Lambs. They went there. My mom taught there. My wife taught there. I didn't have a clue about it. When I found out, it literally broke my heart. And that's how I got compelled to get involved. And now we got them in a great place. And I feel like we can do that for many more organizations. We're going to work hard to try to partner with city leaders, county leaders, and individuals throughout the community to try to help raise awareness, mostly awareness, to how you get involved and support. Because I think everybody, I always say this, Mayor Jimmy, is whether it's money, word of mouth, volunteering, support, there's so many ways to help. You don't have to have money. You know what I mean?
That's right.
You just got to care enough to want to do something,
That's right.
And then like when you're in public service like yourself, clearly it wasn't about the money. You know what I mean? They don't get rich being a mayor. I can tell you that right now. No. Or anything else in the community. Like I know that for a fact, and people give folks, these politicians, a hard time. At your local levels, there's not big salaries involved, And so you have to have a want to get involved and make change.
I tell people all the time, I didn't run to get rich. I ran to serve.
Yeah,
I ran to make a difference. When you, and I always say this, people get mad at me, want to, but when God show you that you see the people need something.
Yeah.
And the people are being neglected of things, or even if you see a city bigger than what people see it. As walking in it, sometimes God show a leader the land and say, look, this will be yours. And this is what it'll be. And I look at Horn Lake and I see so much opportunity, like
serious potential.
Like serious potential, like making sure we stay a city that also contributes to the wealth of DeSoto County, to the wealth of the state of Mississippi, but most of all provide for our citizens, serve every citizen that has come to Horn Lake. I tell people, of course, I'm from Memphis, but I can tell you now, I'm one of the people that serve, give all I got. My family give this time.
Yeah. Well, you relocated.
I relocated.
I mean, it's your goal is to make it good. I know that.
So there's a lot of people that.
One of the problems with parts of South Haven, the older part, the west side. All right. So this is the thing I always tell people, like the east side of 55, and I don't know why this is true, but it is, I think it's because a lot of it's newer over time. So the west side of 55, if everybody knows what we're talking about, they don't get a lot of love. They don't get a lot of things. Like a lot of and I'm going back 50 years here, all right? That's why Horn Lake established 1973, roughly. Right. All the new stuff, good stuff, kind of goes east of 55. There's not a lot of things that get done on the west side for some reason. I don't know what that, even if you get down into other parts going south, not a lot of love on the west side of 55. So people have to work extra, extra hard to create commerce, build opportunity, things of that nature, reinvestment in the community. Horn Lake has a lot more than people realize. It's not just that part around Horn Lake Road and Gibbon Road. That's not just Horn Lake. You know what I mean? Horn Lake has a big reach. So we have a lot of resources up through 55, which has been there for a long time. Run all the way up to the bridge on 55. The Home Depots, the Texas Roadhouses, all that's Memphis barbecue.
A lot of people think that's South Haven.
They do. That's what I'm saying. Like they're confused to what that is, and that used to be, by the way, I don't know if you know this, if you ask questions about that, used to be one of the biggest trailer parks.
I remember.
In the area was right where you worked at that Kroger. Yes. And that Home Depot and Target and all that. Yes. That was a huge trailer park back in the day, and thank goodness it's not now. You know what I mean? Like I'm just thinking, good Lord, I wasn't here when that was that way, but I've been told back in the 80s and 70s that was a huge trailer park. So development and growth comes by people wanting to reinvest around the infrastructure you have in place. So obviously it's crowded up there, but there's more opportunity, and you're trying to work around that new section of Interstate Boulevard that got neglected after it got built. There really wasn't much going on for a long time, but you see a need to try to get more people involved. Now, obviously it has some issues too, because where does it run? The backside of it was all that water runoff from Horn Lake Creek.
Right.
Yeah. So have they got that addressed now? Are they working on?
Over the years, I think they've done some work, but right now we're going to be inspecting a lot of it, making sure. One thing I did do is make sure our public works immediately jump on drainage, cleaning issues and repairs. Yeah. Matter of fact, we're having some water lifts being serviced now. New water that's been put in and throughout Twin Lakes especially. But,
expensive.
Hopefully we get this grant coming up soon that's going to help us get some more. Because our infrastructure is rough. It's
older, and it probably wasn't done exactly right. I don't know. I say this all the time about Hernando. Like, nobody said that growth coming. That's a city. It's very obvious of the growth in the last decade or so to where it just exploded. And you can visually see it. Like, when you're driving down the interstate, like, dang, when did they put that in, Right. Managing that, the infrastructure from it's so complex when you start. And I guess because I'm in the construction business a little bit, I see like, oh my God, man, they didn't put pipes in that part of the ditches, and like you start seeing the things that like I would notice, but maybe 20 years ago I wouldn't have. Like it's just where you grow. The infrastructure, like you said, the drainage, the lifts, the water stations.
Stuff people don't normally see.
They just don't normally see or know about, by the way.
But they know about it once it's
in their back door. When that rain comes, son, that's what happens. So a lot of not building codes, people got away with a lot of things, builders, developers, and not realizing the impact it would have 20 plus years down the road, or 30 years down the road. Every time you build a new house and a new subdivision, it changes the course of flow of water.
That's right.
Every time.
You got to go somewhere.
Yeah. There's a whole industry. I got buddies who do it for a living. They just, all right, we're going to be working there pretty soon, because they're going to be changing the direction of water. All of a sudden you're putting water in the back door of your neighbor's house. You didn't intend to. It's just the way the things work. So in these older neighborhoods like the Twin Lakes and things that you're talking about that you're having to work with, those are 50-year-old areas.
Correct. Inherited from the county,
Yeah, inherited from the county. And over the course of time, things change, and so it's an ongoing expense. And you think about it, like I would say the majority of dollars go back from you're working from problems from the past that you're trying to clean up and rework and deal with.
That's true. That's true. I think that's why people voted for something different.
Something different. Yeah.
It's to be honest with you, we're gonna be playing catch up on a lot of infrastructure.
Yeah.
Me, I'm more the kind like I can get you a brand new road. And put it on the list of the next roads to fix. But if it's still a flooding issue there, that's the top priority. Deal with the flooding first, because if I put a new road there.
I think transparency. One of the things that we lack here, and I'm going to beg you right now. I'm going to get on. Yes, I am. I never do this. But let me tell you something. One of my biggest pet peeves about DeSoto County and Horn Lake and everybody, scanners. The people don't know what they don't know. Information on Facebook's not solid. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of rumor mill. Can we advocate for some scanners so people can know what's going on in their community? Just give me I'll look into it, Neil. That's all I need to hear.
I'll look into it, Neil.
Yeah, that's all I need to hear. And then next week I'm going to text you and be like, what's going on with them scanners? So, but you know, like, but anyway, I'm joking, but I'm not joking about that part. I even give Tuggle, I give Tuggle a hard time about that too.
No, transparency should be a priority. People want to know what's going on. Matter of fact, that's the best way to deal with misinformation.
Yes, that's the whole problem.
To give information.
Well, I mean, and that's what I was going to say. Like, as you do things, and
that's the reason why I wanted to make sure on this show today that I would mention some of those things so people will know this is what's been going on. I can't always talk about everything.
No.
But I can give you a glimpse of the improvements just in 6 months.
Well, and you got a social media manager. Every town's probably got one now, so you got to have that. And I know you use it a lot. You're on there more than most. Like they're showing some of the things you're doing out there in the public, and that's not really to give shine to Mayor Jimmy. It's just showing you what they're doing. Like they're, when y'all are doing a new project, Public Works Department, put it out there. This is where your dollars are going, folks. We're trying to fix this right now. We're trying to be transparent with you about where your dollars are being, put into play. When something new's coming, let them know. Like, guys, we almost inked this deal. We got a new investment coming. Let them know. Like, people want to know. They're curious. And then people just be constantly creating false information on Facebook. Because that seems to be our thing around here. But yeah, so scanners, Mr. Jimmy. That's what I know. Your chief of police like, well, that guy shut up about that. But for me, I grew up with that, knowing I could hear the calls, and like when and it's going to happen, you're going to have people escape. You're going to have chases through your neighborhoods. You had one a few weeks ago that wound up coming out of Tennessee, that wound up down Nail Road on 2-lane. There was so much speculation about that. If they'd had a scanner, people could have stayed away. Lock your doors. Get in your house. There's some guys on the run. We didn't know nothing. That's why I say the transparency. You had Tennessee state troopers. You had Tennessee police officers. You had DeSoto County. I mean, 10 agencies.
All agencies was involved. I was
on that guy's tail.
I was crossing Nail on 2-lane when they came through. I was heading to the high school, I think, basketball game, and man, I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, if you'd had a scanner, you'd have known. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you'd had a scanner, you'd have known.
And I find out it was right there, Dunn's restaurant behind it is where it ended.
Yeah, and then the guy ran up in the woods. So then we got another problem, like they got this guy on the loose, and nobody knew. It was all speculation. Have they caught him yet? Have they acted? Yeah, man, tell people to lock their doors. Like, quit letting it be. So, and if it gets really serious, just block it out. You know what I mean? Just like turn it off. Everybody go black. You know what I mean? And I think that's a new line of revenue. That's what I want to tell people. If you create an app, you could charge whatever you want to charge for that thing a month. I promise you people would pay to be on that scanner just so they could be informed. Let's get off that topic because I will run that one in the ground, Jimmy.
I know DeSoto County has some kind of app where you receive the messages when things are happening.
Yeah, man, that ain't live action scanners, man. Like, come on, Jimmy.
It's good for traffic, man.
Yeah, that's good. But you know what I'm talking about. Even in Memphis, they got scanners. You know what I mean? It's busy up there for sure. Down here, it probably wouldn't be so busy. You know what I mean? But like, just when real serious things are going on, people can know.
Get the information.
Yeah. It's just I don't know, kind of like being nosy maybe, but we're taxpayers, so we want to know. We're citizens of the community.
And deserve to know.
You got somebody on the loose that was working a work detail, cleaning the ditch. He decided to check out and go. We need to know. Maybe we can help you find him. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's
all eyes. The best way to help law enforcement is participation from the people.
That's right. I think so. But so maybe I'm wrong for that. But however, like being transparent with. I think that's the thing is just holding people accountable. So like in the past, like everybody thinks there's these backroom deals going on. So, if you get out in front of it, and I notice you do a lot of that, you show people what's going on as much as you can. I know it's part of the job is also to keep things under wraps until they're 100% foolproof, but going forward, I know you want to see things grow. It's always, every business is not welcome. You know what I mean? That's the one thing.
We just did a moratorium on stopping gas stations, fast food, car washes, and liquor stores.
I know it.
Not fast food. I don't think fast food is
not fast food, but definitely gas stations and
car washes and gas stations. So, and the goal is to get something more concrete, a study done, saying that we're oversaturated.
Yeah, like you find out like how many does it take to feed? Like, where is this enough? You know what I mean? Because man, I'm telling you right now, other parts of the country had to do that. because it just got nuts, especially California. They were the first ones to put a moratorium on gas stations. I mean, it seemed like they were on every corner.
Right.
You know, I mean, I guess if they're all busy, yeah, but I mean, there is a lot.
Yeah, and we still have a lot of other commercial needs.
Sure, we do.
Right,
Yeah.
there's some things that we don't have in Horn Lake that's needed to build community. Right.
Yeah.
We're working on a downtown Horn Lake project. Hopefully, we got a couple of the owners that they on board. You know,
Where's that at?
Right there where the old Horn Lake City Hall used to be. What is that? Main Street? Yeah, Main Street over that area by the train tracks and all that. So we're looking at between there and neighborhood Walmart.
Yeah, that whole area there.
Yeah, and going back into that we work on something that bring back where Horn Lake originally started.
Okay, so just trying to build up. Yeah, because there's not a lot right in there.
Well, we don't have a true identity. Mm-hmm. And people don't realize how much that have to do with pride.
Yeah.
How you know, when you think of Horn Lake, what is that true identity?
Yeah.
What are you known for? What do we come? Like we're talking
What are we known for?
What are we known for? What make us different? So we've been working on some of that with development of a downtown Horn Lake. Hopefully, get that going soon to where, we got a place we can go downtown, get that place where people can go and have entertainment for the kids and family.
Sure.
We don't have that.
We don't.
We don't have that, and I think that's why sometimes even living there, you don't think highly of where you live because there's still something missing.
Yeah.
And so I really want to make sure that during the times that people give me the serve, they the ones that hire and fire you, that I'm able to keep pushing for us to get that identity of where we are now, who we are now, appreciate the past, but be honest and about where we are now.
Right.
This is a community.
I'm going to ask you one question, and you can answer or don't answer it, but people are going to be mad at me if I don't answer this question. It just hit me, too. Marijuana stores.
Marijuana stores?
Medical marijuana.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on it?
We got a few of them. So I think for medical purposes, even as a pastor, you know.
Yeah. Well, just from a city's perspective, you know, I guess I don't look into it too much. I know there's been some towns that's been resistant to it, you know, as far as like wanting to make sure.
Horn Lake was at first.
Yeah. But the people, you know, when they vote something in, you know, you got to listen to the folks, you know. Right. The state tried to pull a quick one on that one, and our governor had to reverse course. They found a loophole to kill it, but then they had to realize, well, the people voted for this like 70%. Right. So we have to listen to them. I know it's not like on your agenda it's not about what you want as a leader. You know, you have to kind of like guide things.
Better listen to the people.
That's right. If you hire and fire you. And I think he realized he was going to get fired if he didn't reverse course on that.
I mean, you don't ever... You know, you have integrity where you stand.
Sure.
But to act like there's, you know, recreational use is not the only use for it.
No. I think sometimes, too, like there's too much recreational use. I'm not saying I endorse. I don't either, by the way. I don't either. But I do think there is a medicine.
Yeah, medical purposes that people use it for.
It is a good medicine for certain people, for certain things, you know. And I think if you can fall in those guidelines and it's state approved and that our municipalities, I didn't like the fact they had a choice to in it or out it. I didn't like that. You know, I didn't, because, the people spoke.
I think we have them across the county, right?
Well, I think there was some resistance initially. At first, you know, but like there, I went back to it, and I think they finally seen the light. Like, how can we be so resistant to something the public voted for? This is what they want, you know.
Because I think the first one was right here in Hernando, I think.
Down in Hernando, yeah. And then I know, but there's still towns that are like, no, we don't want that element here. You know what I mean? Well, it's there. Trust me. It's already there. You might as well benefit from it, you know. So
it's the illegal process.
I'd have been the guy, been like, where do you want to put the first one? Because I know it's just going to be like, people are going to go to it, you know. You're going to get more traffic there, you know. I'd have been the guy that's like, I'm going to have the first one in DeSoto County. And I don't even smoke. I'm not even pot related, but I understand the people are involved. I'd much rather have those than liquor stores, to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, I would. You know, I really would. I think they're less damaging to a person overall. Although I can believe you can abuse anything. Yeah. You know, and I definitely know people that abuse that as well. It's like, man, golly. I was like, I don't even know. You know, you get around them, and I don't smoke, but all of a sudden I feel like I can't pass a drug test just being around them. You know what I mean? So I have to be careful with that. But I was just wondering where your stance was on that. So you're open to it. It's legal. There's a business, I guess, around that as far as the medical side. And I know the initiative nationwide nationwide is to try to get it done for recreational as well. But I think Mississippi will probably be on the last list for that one to get to recreation. You're still going to get picked up and taken to jail, sir, if you get a...
I guess it's just saying the state deciding on who's going to make the money.
That's right. That's right.
Leave one in the street, so you're going to take it and bring it home.
That's exactly right. So, but I don't see us going that route too soon. That's still going to be one of those things. It's still questionable, like how restrictive the medical side of it is too. I think that people wonder sometimes if the person's got the cards really ill and that's what they need. Right. But the goal was because there's so many forms that's beneficial for it, from anxiety to pain relief, et cetera, arthritis. Lots of people have that, and back issues. I mean, if I don't fool with it, but like I would rather do something like that than I had to take an opioid. You know what I mean? So I can understand why, people would want that opportunity to try something.
Which is addictive. That opioid.
Man, there's so many people get on that. But there's it's hard to replace something that works so well for pain. So that's why we have pain management clinics and things of that nature. And it's just when we become real resistant to all kinds of ideas of medication, then you force people down a path to where they start getting it off the streets and stuff, trying to bring it in illegally, and that's where we get drug dealers. Right. So it's really kind of a problem in a different way, overall. But I'm just curious to see your thoughts on that. Anything else you want to talk about today that maybe we didn't talk about that's on your mind?
At the end of the day, we recognize, we got some concerns in Horn, and we're going to do our best to tackle some of these issues. I know even with the legislators, I had a list of about 12 things I'm requesting from our state and county and federal government. When you look at our parks, Latimer Park is our premier park. A lot of funding has been going to that project over the years, but at the end of the day, we have 17 now. We just discovered another park.
I discovered it. Let me tell you,
it was deeded to Horn Lake.
Funny that you say that. I remember many, many years ago, my kids were playing t-ball over there, and we would have ball practice, and we'd have to find like a park within the town to where we could practice, and sometimes I'd find these parks like in the middle of these neighborhoods built back in the 60s or 70s, and they're so overgrown, you know what I mean? And I had like a real industrial mower back then, and I'd go get it, take it down there and cut the grass out to work. And I thought, why are they not? They probably didn't even know they own this, is what I was thinking, And it is something that was deeded back from way before when it was part of the county, probably. It's probably what happened. So, because over time, it's just, a little bit of annexation, and you realize, well, we got that, but we never started taking care of it, So now you're finding that.
Yeah, and right. And so we want to, think about everybody. Most of us go to Latimer for the big events, but the neighborhood parks, the ones in the community, are the ones people will use on a regular. Leave their house, walk a couple of blocks, and go walk and
some good parks too, by the way.
Yeah, playground equipment got to be updated. I know some of them has been done over the last few years, but we went and walked Wooten Park next to the middle school, and man, that you can feel like you walk it, you feel like, okay, this is what it was like back in the day. This was the one,
that's
where everybody would go to. This is where baseball was a big thing, and
before Latimer.
Now to walk into it and you see that the playground equipment is molded, the fences are falling, and you got the old pavilion and another area where it looked like people just go in there and hide and just do things, and being next to the middle school, it's scary. So one of the things we think about is, let's redo this. Let's redo this. You got a basketball court over there that on Sundays they say is packed.
Yeah.
And so the kids still have a desire to go there.
Sure.
But when are we going to do something to update this equipment, or even renovate it to be more of what's needed now? So we are going after a grant. Hopefully we get it.
Gotta help you do
go Grizzlies.
Go Grizzlies. That's right.
I hope they help.
They're very nice to the community. I know that they do a lot for people that they don't in this community. That people don't realize. Like the Parks and Rec division is usually sponsored by the Grizzlies.
Man, if we can, I'm telling you, basketball is a thing over there at Wooten Park. And even when we walk at Charlotte Armstrong, Alderwoman Armstrong, Alderman McKinney, Alderman Smith, we went down. I wanted them to see this. I said, y'all, look, this is the challenge we're fighting. And it's not just this park. They're all over the city. Yeah,
everywhere.
And what we want to do is get these parks to give them their respect. And some of them never had equipment on them. They just fields.
Like somebody cut some dirt out and made a softball field or something, with a backdrop or something. That was about it.
That's right. Yeah. What are we going to do? When are we going to get dog parks,
Yeah. We're behind on that stuff.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's people, give us a minute. The new board, it's pretty much a new board outside of, your three, Alderman Bledsoe and Alderman Bostic, Alderman Johnson, been very supportive. We love, I love Alderman. I love talking to Bledsoe about the history.
Sure. Well, because you're not from here originally, so you're like catching up.
I'm learning,
I know that some of the mayors, you go back to the Bakers and Latimers, those are names that have been around forever, around here, and they know all the history and stuff. But we have to move forward, too.
We have to move forward.
And historical part of it's good, but we have to see the growth's coming. We got to manage it clearly. Right. And I think that's part of the problem is at times, it was growing so fast at times too.
It's hard to keep up.
It's really hard to keep up. And the dollars don't always match the needs, for sure. That's one of the issues that people don't realize. Like the funding's not always there to keep up with the needs of the growth, and you have to go find it, and you got to have somebody that's going to fight for it and beg for it. It's a terrible situation to be in, but that's part of it.
I'm learning to beg,
man, and you got to, and it is terrible. But every municipality in the state of Mississippi and the nation has to do that.
You have to do it
with their local senators, their state senators have to go to bat for them to go to the state. I mean, it's just a whole process.
Representatives,
and your representatives and your county leaders and your district, like our board of supervisors. I mean, everybody has to work together as a group to get everything accomplished that needs to be accomplished.
All our success is tied together.
Has to be, from the smallest of little areas, like we keep hearing this word Lewisburg. Lewisburg, by the way, is not a town. Mm-hmm. It's one of the most prominent parts of the county you hear about, but it's not a town. Mm-hmm. It's really just an area between Hernando and Olive Branch, and right. And eventually it will become something of one of them, if not its own. Right. We haven't developed a new municipality in a really long time, but I think that's the one that's going to be coming in some capacity. But they have to go find the resources to build those schools down there, and create a new area that people don't have to travel 20 miles to get to school. You know what I mean? Right. And they've done that. So they're working really hard. And I can't even imagine the amount of work it takes to get a school built funding wise. You know what I mean?
Do a lot of begging.
Yeah, a lot of begging. And and then like in Horn Lake, how many schools y'all got inside the city limits now overall? Do you know that number?
You got Horn Lake High, you got Horn Lake Middle, you got Horn Lake Intermediate, so that's 3, and you got 2 elementary schools, 5.
Shadow Oaks and
Horn Lake Elementary.
Yeah. That's quite a bit in the city limits, and what? How many total population is it now?
Right under 28,000. Might be at 28,000.
Yeah.
And that's only the ones that did the census.
Yeah, right. So that ain't the ones laid up.
Didn't open the door.
Didn't open the door. So maybe
open the
30.
Door, so help us get some funding.
So maybe 30,000. Let's just say that. Give a little bit. We got a lot of opportunities. If you guys want to shop and have a new experience, there's a lot of great things. I know that recently some of the new partners you had coming in, you got a Chipotle.
Yes.
Chick-fil-A, all the good stuff. Whataburger, all those good things that come in there, and I'm sure there's going to be continued growth going down that side of the corridor out to the west. And that's the ever-growing part of Horn Lake right now. That seems to be the build-up. Is there any new things coming that you know of in that area that you can speak on anyway?
Not anything I can speak of.
Okay.
I'm the kind of person I like to when
it's inked.
When it's inked and
dry.
A lot of people. I know there was a rumor going around not too long ago about some stuff happening, and I'm the kind of person until I see.
What was the rumor about?
About Elvis Presley land.
Oh, that's been a rumor for 30 years, man.
But, I met with somebody about some stuff, but until I see. The landowners sell the land, and
listen, those are multi-million-dollar deals there, buddy. Yeah, that land is expensive.
When something concrete, I'll be the first one to shout.
There's been so many rumors around that, Jimmy, back going into the late '90s. The McLemores that used to have the gas station over there on the corner of 301 and 302. They had that. They had options on it. I don't know how many times people were going to buy it and develop it into like a great place. That's cool. I would love to see that.
Oh,
but until I see what you're talking about, I ain't going to believe it. Because, it's a big project. It's going to take some real money to get behind that.
And we want to make sure whatever we do is
solid.
It's solid. It benefits the community, the city.
Yeah.
That
would benefit the whole county if something happened with a place like that. That'd be like a silo square set up to Snowden Grove. What South Haven's done, it benefits the whole county.
If you do it right, it has the ability to make Horn Lake unique.
Oh, it does. Yeah, for sure.
I'm just surprised it hasn't been there.
Well, I think at different
times some
challenges
when I studied it.
There was, especially when the casinos are around, there was heavy hot talks, because of the connection of the money there, and then when they were rolling, and there was a lot of opportunities for big money to come in. What I would like to see is this new interest in our area from Big Daddy Elon. Come on, bring some money outside of AI. Come on down, buy the Elvis property. Let's develop a whole new theme park. We'll call it Elon Land. I don't care. That'd be unique to Horn Lake in itself, right? But I'm serious. That probably is what it is. It's just going to take some big finance. A huge investment for that thing to kick off, right?
You got to have an investor.
You do a big one too, man. On that one, that was a huge one. So it's out there though. If they can see. The traffic flow to it, they'll do it. There was a time back in 2008 when everything was starting to really pop around that area, and it was coming, and then the bottom fell out of the market. You know what I mean? That's when we had that big economic turn down or depression or whatever, a recession. I call it a depression. Everything just stopped in its tracks for a long time. That was happening right about that time. There was some things getting ready to pop out, but it's just, it's going to happen eventually because everything keeps creeping west. That's the only way you can go. Is to come back and connect with the Walls area, which is Horn Lake in that area. It's a people are confused sometimes where they overlap, but I just consider it all the same part of the county city area. But you're doing a phenomenal job at trying to be transparent with people, doing more.
Thank you.
Any new initiatives?
New initiatives?
Yeah, from you, just you though.
Me right now, I just want to keep cleaning up things. Building, confidence in, confidence in our city.
Sure.
That the citizens can be confident in us, no matter whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, black, white,
good education,
Jewish.
safety, whatever the case may be.
That we're working, we're learning, we're working. We've been busy, put it like that. We've been very busy, but new initiatives wise is these things we're focusing on is parks, make sure our kids are safe and doing whatever we can right now. We just want to get the infrastructure,
get the basics back to where it needs to be because I don't want to blame the previous administration because it could have been just something they didn't have the resources to do, or the wherewithal to even think about. So new ideas, a new mind, new group of folks, new team in place can help see things like they weren't seeing before. And you start working on bringing it back to where it should be at a good starting point to start building on that.
And remember, it's not that Horn Lake is a terrible place.
Oh, no.
No, it's not that. Horn Lake just have a lot of opportunities.
I think they got a great amount of promise. I mean, some of the things like we talked about earlier, just been on the west side of 55, it's like it built up really, and then it got kind of just stagnant for a while. The growth did. It kind of stopped, and then
got to keep moving.
The reinvestment started taking place from the state level. It was focused in a different part of the county at different times, and I think that now, you got a golden opportunity to grow with new leaders. Like I said, GE coming in, that's a huge one. How big a facility are they building over there?
I can't think of it. It's the one right there. Expressway, almost where Expressway Drive is going in the South. We wanted to go into South Haven at one time.
Yes,
that huge building right there in the corner where Neil and
Interstate turn in that corner. Right. So they're going to be back in there, that big warehouse.
The one right there in the front.
Yeah.
The one right
there. That was a big one they put in there. That thing, I don't think people realize how big that is because you can't see it completely. You can either see it from the interstate, one side of it, or you can see it from interstate, just a little bit of it. That would be a great corridor if they.
So we have another building back there that's empty too. See, one thing we're working on now is how do we market our economic growth for the city? So what do we do? What are we doing on our website? What are we doing with the chamber and being aggressive in recruiting businesses? What do we have in place to recruit? Do we have a benefit package out there for bringing them in? So those are the things we're going to be working on. The next, we're going to start a committee soon. Matter of fact, we just met about it this week, but we're going to start a committee that focus on economic growth.
Yeah.
Right. And so how do we partner with our chamber and how do we partner with bringing businesses into our community and then bringing what we need? Because you only have so much commercial space.
You do. That's it.
And when you don't have enough of this, but you got a lot of that. You got to start balancing it out somewhere. So we want to be able to say, hey, this is what we want. How do we go after it? How do we get it here to Horn Lake? What are we using to show them? If you bring an industry to Horn Lake, we got 2 technical colleges right here.
That's right.
You know, we can train a workforce right here. Horn Lake is not a bad place to come and build industry. And even with retails, like one thing I told them about Horn Lake being one of the top 20 populated cities, one out of 3 that don't have a movie theater.
Yes.
You know, so think about these numbers. How are you in the top
20,
10,
whatever?
Well, we were we was the 10th largest city in 2021. I think when I was running my campaign, I saw we like the 14th. Yeah. Then I saw something else. Now we like the 12th again.
Yeah, Well, there's all over the state, it's growing, but I think that one of the things is you're right. Like those weren't focuses in the past.
So there are some things by population that we should be able to get. So the question now is, how are we? What is our plan? What is in place to say, hey, we're Horn Lake. You benefit from coming here.
Yeah, absolutely. And you want to see it. It's going to grow, but it's also, you want it to grow in the right way.
The right way.
That's the goal. And again, continue with great education and great leadership and opportunities for others. Like they said, the technical colleges are huge. To me, that's the path out of high school is the technical side, the career techs and stuff,
yes,
learn a trade. That's really more beneficial especially in this part of the country.
Right.
Learn how to weld and electrician, whatever it may be, cutting hair is great too. All that stuff, like there's just a lot of things in our community we need.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So again, guys, go check out the Horn Lake Municipal website and see some of the great things they got to offer. Some of the things we mentioned today are just touching a tad bit on some of the great organizations and programs and people in place, and support them. When you get a chance and you live in Hernando or Olive Branch, ride over, check it out. See what's going on in Horn Lake. Mayor Jimmy here has got good things going on, and I want to thank you for coming in today.
I appreciate
the connection. I look forward to working with you because I know you and I've talked about working together on some, more of a community effort as a whole, because I'm not a politician. I can't help you with that part. But as far as helping
others. I've been
others,
made one, so.
you made one. So I don't want to be one. I've got to be honest with you. It's too much. I don't have the patience for it.
I told you at the beginning of the show, I hate politics.
Yeah. Well, you picked a bad profession, sir, for the internet. So, Mr. Jimmy, thank you. I hope you have an amazing holiday season, and I look to working with you in the new year. Look forward to it.
Thank you, Mr. Neil.
Yes, sir, man. All right, guys. Till next time, we'll see you. Bye.